Hey everyone, Anthony here. So I just want to preface this video by saying, like, I know it's really long. I'm keeping in like all the footage that I have from driving to West Virginia and looking at these two houses. If you don't want to watch it or whatever, because of its length, I'm totally okay with that. Like my videos don't get a lot of views anyway, so I totally understand it if you guys don't want to watch it. I wanted to keep in like all of the stuff, all the footage that I had of me actually walking through and talking with the realtor about the houses and everything too. That's like a big part of it, the length. I guess just so you guys see how I interact with people, I'm not really the best at interacting with people, especially since the coronavirus. I have gotten worse at speaking because I'm not around people as much and speaking with people as much. And also, in the past, when I would speak with people, I would have like a topic or a list of questions or whatever, or something I would want to discuss with them beforehand, when we have like deep conversations and stuff like that. And when I'm just like with one person, it's kind of just like I don't really know what to say or how to react sometimes. Like I said, especially being so out of practice because of coronavirus and all that stuff. Hey everyone, Anthony here. We're gonna try vlogging with this GoPro. I don't know how well it's gonna work, or how well the audio is, but we'll just test it out. And there's no front screen, I can't see me, and I have the camera set to like a static ISO, a static exposure. So I have to use ND filters to get the exposure right. And I'm driving now really fast. Well, I'm doing like 75, 80. Yeah, so we have to swap between ND filters, but if the screen is behind me, I can't really see the exposure or not, if I'm not looking at the screen. So we might have periods where I'm too bright or too dark. I'm kind of looking at it in the rear view mirror to see. But yeah, how's everyone doing today? 7:57 a.m. I left my house about an hour ago. We're headed to West Virginia to get some country roads taking me home. Yeah, I feel like a on-the-scene news reporter or something here. But yeah, we should be arriving at 1:47 p.m. Hotel check-in, we're about 5 hours and 50 minutes away. Hotel check-in is at 3 p.m. So I'll be arriving like an hour early, but that's okay because it gives me some time for like a rest break or to sit down and stretch or crawl into the fetal position on the side of the highway. Just looking like a foggy mess. Road trip update where we saved half an hour with driving. Probably without that, if that cop didn't stop me, that was like 5 minutes, so it would have been 35 minutes so far. But at the rate I'm going, we'll probably get there at like 1:15 maybe, which is like my hotel check-in is at 3, so that doesn't quite work out that well, but maybe they'll let me in early. I also do have to stop for gas. I have 100 miles left on this tank and 155 miles left on this journey. So I think this highway section is another 50 miles. So I think maybe at the end of this highway section is when my plan is to start looking for gas. That'll give me 50 miles in the tank to look for a gas station. Hopefully that doesn't cut it too close. I am like a little bit concerned that that after like this highway section, I won't be able to find gas. So maybe we'll see what happens. But so far, drive's doing well. My back hurts a little bit. My butt hurts a little bit. But it's nothing that I need to stop for or anything like that. So I did basically lose all the time that I made up. Now my ETA is 1:49 p.m. before it was like 1:24 p.m. So, man, well, the first gas station that I stopped at, there were plastic bags at all the pumps. So I sat there and I looked for a different gas station because I'm like, oh, this place probably isn't serving gas. So the next gas station was the next stop over, another Sunoco. I stopped there, the next exit over. I stopped there and my debit cards declined. I think because like I'm using my debit card out of state, which I don't know. I think my bank should be able to recognize that. Like, oh, this guy just rented a car. He just booked a hotel room in West Virginia. Maybe we should allow him to use his debit card in West Virginia now. But yeah, so I tried like 3 or 4 times. Then I tried going inside the building. The doors are locked on the building. It was just like a little hut thing at the gas station. So I'm like, so then a guy pulls up next to me as I'm about to leave, and I'm like, hey man, can you use your debit card to buy me gas and I'll give you cash? And he's like, yeah, sure, we could try that. His debit card was declined, I think because he just used it on the pump next to his. So thankfully there was another gas station just next door to the one that I was at, and this gas station wasn't called Sunoco or anything like that. It was just called gas. And they had a couple pumps there. My debit card was accepted, thankfully. They also had a building to go inside that had a restroom, like a convenience store and everything. And the restroom wasn't closed because of coronavirus. Like in Pennsylvania, the restrooms are closed because of the coronavirus at public places. So yeah, plus everyone in there is like really lax, like not wearing a mask or like not really caring about masks or anything. So man, at the register, like it's just these people just bullshitting with the cashiers. I guess probably because it's probably a small town and they all know each other and whatever. But it's just like, I'm like, man, I gotta go. Like these people are just like bullshitting at the register and everything. And it reminded me of my mom when she was like, when we moved from New York to Pennsylvania, which was kind of out in the middle of nowhere, not really as resolute as this or remote as this, but it was kind of out in the middle of nowhere. My mom was like, my mom said the same thing, like, oh, these people, they just bullshit, like they have no sense of urgency or whatever. So, but yep, hour 55 minutes left on this trip. So I arrived. I'm not going to tell you like too much about what I think about this town so far because I just drove around it. It's so far people seem very nice. I'm kind of scared of moving here in the different town and everything, but this is a crazy hotel room that I have. They upgraded me to this better room because Expedia put on that I needed a wheelchair accessible room or something, so then they just upgraded me to this room. So it's definitely the nicest room that I've ever been in. Here it's got, well, here's a bathroom with this sink thing and mirror. Is this actually a closet? Yeah, this crazy ass bed, and then this desk so you can sit down and watch people sleep. Then it's got this couch, that's my luggage, and kitchen thing. But oh, we need did I bring them with me? The ND filters are in my car, so you guys won't be able to see the bright light out there. But yeah, I'm gonna hop in the shower and get myself some rest.
When I first moved down here, I looked all over the place for houses, and luckily I have friends who, like I mentioned, live here. Mm-hmm. So they tell me to stay away from certain areas, and glad I did. Just like every town, you have some areas you don't want to be in.
Yeah.
People that don't take care of their properties and that type of thing. What?
Okay, so that's the dining room. I was confused by the pictures if the living room and dining room was one all extended section or if it was...
Yeah, it's a little separated.
It looks very nice.
Carpeting is brand new. Just put that in. Got rid of all the old wallpaper. My gosh, there was so much in this house when he bought it. Got rid of that, painted everything neutral. I think I mentioned he's only lived here a year, and he got back with his wife.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was a good thing.
It looked from the disclosure papers, they were signed in November. So has he put the house up for sale in November, right?
Yes.
And then he stopped living here in November? Yes. Okay.
Yes, he did. Right on here somewhere.
Go to turn the light off, I'm like, oh, my hand's gonna get chopped off.
I do that all the time. Nice kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Is it linoleum floors, right? Or?
I think it's a laminate.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm already thinking about how I'm gonna like paint everything and remodel everything and all that stuff.
Got a pantry over here.
Nice.
You like colors? You like neutral or?
I like blue and gray and black, but the kitchen, so I already have like green curtains and green pot holders, and I see this is like kind of maybe a little bit of a greenish color. So I was thinking about painting this green, and then maybe the walls like a light green color or something.
You know what color it was before you painted?
Green.
Green. You can see just a little bit.
And then I was thinking about putting stone tiles in on the floor. But then the house at 582 Homewood Road, I'm looking at there, and I was looking at that house first. I didn't see this one, and that kitchen is green there. And I'm looking there because one of the reasons I'm like, oh, I don't like that kitchen, it's too green. And then I'm looking at this house, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna paint this one green.
Is that the truth? That's funny.
So then in here I was thinking about making like a home gym a little bit, you know.
Oh yeah. It's a wood burner. Nice to have. We don't get too many power failures, but when we do, it'll definitely make a difference.
Oh, how's like the internet here? Does the internet go down a lot, or is it pretty stable? Or
we have Suddenlink.
Yeah.
That's probably, there's two available, Suddenlink and CAS.
Okay.
Suddenlink, people hate it for some reason. I have it. I honestly can't say it goes down very often. Only occasionally I have a problem. It seems like when you do, you have to disconnect the cable from the router, count up to like 10, connect it, and you're back up.
Yeah, just like restart it or whatever. Like I used to work in IT like years ago, and a lot of people, it seemed like when they complained about Comcast or internet access or whatever, it wasn't actually Comcast that was
Coin is from watching Big Bang Theory.
Oh, I never saw that show. I heard of it, but
Oh, it's funny. Yeah.
that's actually because the price crashed like a couple days ago or something. So right as the price was crashing, I sold like a lot of it to be able to buy a house. So that's what I made the appointments to come out here and everything.
Attractive house too.
Mm-hmm. One thing about this house is it doesn't have a pool or a fence around the backyard, so I would have to put. You can answer your phone. I'm not in a.
Oh no, I'm what do you call it? This is how we open the doors.
Oh, okay. Just want to say, if you get a phone call or anything, don't worry about me. Do whatever you have to do.
Yeah, there's a few I'm waiting for, but others I can call back.
So, do you know like what the cost is to put in a pool? Probably like 30 grand or something like that.
At least, yes.
Okay.
Now they do have,
especially like a in-ground one, an above-ground one would be less, I think.
Exactly. But one nice thing, gentlemen.
You want this to hit this, or?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think I put it in like that.
I didn't know if you were doing that just in case the door like
Wasn't
locked
paying
behind
attention.
or something.
Gentleman I sold a house to, he has a discount pool company. There's a new model that came out, which he normally does in-ground pools. It is a hybrid, and it's meant to go on sloped land.
Mm-hmm.
So it's partially in-ground and partially above ground. So on a hilled location, which this looks like it would be, from where you're coming, it looks like it's an in-ground pool. You can have a deck around it, and the rest is above. So it's more reasonable price too.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of the rooms I was confused of from the picture too. I didn't know that there was a room right here.
Yeah, kind of like a small office.
Yeah, I don't know.
You should have left this as all part of the living room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking, I saw the basement in this house. I'm like, oh, I could convert that into an office and a gym too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is the one that has a Jack and Jill between the two.
Yeah, that I was confused by this picture too. I'm like, oh, there must be like a door somewhere here to get into these two rooms or whatever. But no, I see that there's that there.
Nice.
And so I'm making sense now. Looking at the pictures, I'm like, what is this? And
That's why I suggest coming down. I know it was a long drive, but it's much better to see him in person.
yeah, I'm definitely glad that I did. And the drive wasn't as bad as I originally thought.
You're pretty flat out here.
Yeah, it's not until like just at the end down there.
It's a nice backyard.
Yeah, it seems like they're like all these houses here seem like really nice, expensive houses too.
Well, in the disclosures I gave you, it has restrictions here. So you weren't able to put in like a double wide trailer. You couldn't put, you can't have chickens. So fresh eggs,
I'm not gonna
not allowed.
have chickens anyway. What is a double wide trailer like?
Manufactured home?
Oh, I'm thinking like a trailer you tow on a truck or something.
No. I'm talking about the ones where it comes in two
Yeah, I
or
know what
more
you're talking
pieces
about.
and you put them together. I mean, they're beautiful homes, but they'd lose their value. So they wanted to keep it out of here. That's why you do have such nice homes around here.
I saw one of the houses in the Google images. There was like a magistrate sign, like maybe the woman that lives at the house was running for magistrate or something like that.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I saw like a magistrate like running for office sign or something outside one of the houses.
It's pretty much a split bedroom design, so your master will be on the other side of the house.
Yeah. What do you think? Because I think this house is a little bit out of my budget. Do you think the price on this house for $329 is fairly accurate for what it would sell for?
Well, it's $329. I would think anywhere. You'll probably sell anywhere between $310, $315.
Okay.
What's the price per square foot here? Let's take a look. $131 a square foot, almost an acre, 2518 square feet. This is actually, it's not a bad price for what you're getting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw because of the neighborhood and everything, but there's like no history on there to see what the house sold for or anything. So I didn't look at what these houses are worth in the area or anything. So
this might have been an original owner. It was pretty popular for older people to buy a little bit outside the city, put a nice house up, and
Yeah, when I
a
was
little
looking
more.
at like satellite maps, I think this house and maybe the house next door, like this area was like one of the first houses, and then down there, more houses were built over
Yeah.
time. Kitchen's bigger than it looks in the picture too. Can you tell I'm a little bit less interested in this house than the other one? Just because the price is higher, and because I think I like the other house better and stuff, because that one has a pool and doesn't have to put in. But this, like, I don't want to like waste your time looking at a bunch of houses.
Well, that's fine.
This was.
I haven't been in this one yet, so it's good for me to know what. I don't consider it a waste of time at all.
I looked. I'm like, oh, there's a bottle of urine.
That's what it looks like.
It's oil.
Just in case, you know.
It's definitely a very nice house.
It is nice. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't sold already.
Mm-hmm. When was it listed for sale?
84 days ago.
I think the other one was like 70, around there.
$116
116 what?
days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the normal time frame has been 180 for this area, meaning all of Mid-Ohio Valley.
Mm-hmm.
With the drop in number of houses, it's changed.
So houses are selling a lot quicker, right?
Yeah. And it's kind of weird because houses may sell the same day they're put on the market, and then people have a change of heart, their financing falls through, any number of reasons. And they're under cabinet lighting.
There's a wire running to. Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, right
I got
there.
it.
So houses come back on the market and it looks like they've been on a long time.
This room right here, I was confused about too. I'm like, what is? Because there's no pictures of this room. I'm like, what is this room? But all right, it would just be like it's like some off room or maybe a closet or something.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, it's probably a secondary closet.
Yeah, I saw there was a closet through the bathroom too.
Yeah. That's probably built as a second closet. They just never closed it off. They might have used it as another office or.
Or maybe you can use it as like a reading area. Some of the houses, like, it's weird to have a closet going through the bathroom.
I've always felt that. Yeah. I have too.
And I'm like, this is a new house. Why does it have such a weird thing like that? But
That would be.
I think.
Well, it looks like you might have had a.
Yeah, I know there was like a dresser here or something like that. And there was a dresser here. I think here.
I would have definitely made this a closet.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to a back porch then.
Yeah. I feel like I know more about this house. Because I was looking at this house, I was looking at for like a couple weeks or a month before I saw the other one. So I was trying to figure out where all the rooms are and everything like that. But there's a porch right here that goes out.
Nice.
Oh, that's probably just not screwed in.
Oh, yeah. Might have been pulled off or they didn't finish. And this is an aerator.
What does that do?
As opposed to being connected to public sewer, that is your self-contained sewer system. So out in the country, you usually have a septic. That is a type of septic. It doesn't use a leach field. the older ones, and if you have a lot of land, they have all their bacteria and everything, get rid of the waste, and the water goes out into the field.
So I wouldn't have a water bill or...
You'd have a water bill, you wouldn't have a sewer bill.
Okay. Yeah, I know, like, when I lived in Goldsboro, we had, I guess, like a septic tank or something. There was, like, a big mound of dirt in the back of the yard that had, like, some PVC pipe sticking out of it. I don't know. I don't know what that is or whatever, but...
Well, this has a big pump that churns and gets air into it, and that degrades the waste. And then the liquid flows over baffles and into the yard.
So it's just called like a aerator. Water system. All right. I'll look that up because, well, when I get home, I'll look it up. But any more knowledge that I can have.
Sure. And when you sell a house, and it has this type of a self-contained sewer system, you ask for a septic inspection to be done, and if needed, to have it pumped. Pumping could cost, and you have to do it like every, I mean, I know people who haven't done it ever, but to be safe and make sure everything's working properly.
Oh yeah, there's a basement.
That's right.
Does the house come with...
No, that it doesn't.
Okay.
But sometimes people ask in their offer, and it's been known to happen, so you never know.
I was looking at what this box was in the picture. It's a Christmas tree. Yeah, very nice sized garage.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I think if I move up here, I'll probably buy a second car too, because it's... I don't know if I drive a sports car around all the time, especially if I have dogs and stuff too. I can't put them in that. Oh, you found her. I was just going to turn my phone. Do you know, like, because I know it said these are poured concrete walls.
Yes.
Do you know if this stuff like seeps water or anything like that, or?
Okay. This is the least likely to seep water because blocks obviously are hollow. So if water comes into any of them, they will fill up slowly over time. So if you're not careful, it's very easy to keep a basement dry. You just make sure it's mounded like that away from a house. And a lot of people put plastic sheeting down and then mulch on top. That keeps water away. As long as your gutters are clean and the downspouts go away from the house, you won't have issues. If over time the land goes down toward the house, water will naturally come down. But again, a poured wall is solid, so the chance of it getting in here are much less.
And I think if I do finish this basement, what you would have to do if water does seep in, I think you just put a plastic sheet against the wall, right? And then you do insulation and then drywall, right?
You could do that. Most people, though, just paint these walls and it looks like brick, painted brick.
Well, I'm thinking like for insulation, for heating and cooling, and because if I put like a gym down here and my office down, I don't even know why I'm thinking about putting an office down here when I have all that space up there. But I'm like,
yeah,
that it looks nice up there to where like an office would just kind of distract from a nice house or whatever.
No.
Upstairs is like a living area, whatever. Because at least the other house being 2 floors, the one in Chadwick, I can have the office there, and then if I do have kids or a family, they can be downstairs while I'm working up or whatever.
That's true. It's a big basement.
But if I do get dogs, like I know a Great Pyrenees likes being in the cooler weather more, so they would probably like being down here and laying on the concrete and everything too.
Those are beautiful dogs.
Were you wondering what's through that door as well?
Sorry?
Were you wondering what's through that door too?
Well, usually it is exactly what it is.
I was wondering, and I'm like, oh, I'll look at the other places before I look in here.
Yeah, the porch is above us.
Oh,
And the concrete, and usually they will do that with poured concrete all the way around. So it's kind of like the old root cellars. A lot of people put their canning items in here.
Oh, okay.
It keeps it cooler.
Yeah, I think if I do put an office down here, I do have to do something with the walls to stop the echo from it when I'm recording. It's nice though. It's like having your own bunker.
My God, yes. This place is huge down here. The house upstairs doesn't feel as large as down here.
I know, right?
Yeah, there's that manor block system you were talking about. That's
So,
really nice.
To point out, this is actually installed incorrectly. And I found this out when I was looking online. It's not like that big of a deal, but there should be blocks on the side here that these run through so that the weight of them is supported by the blocks on the side.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm reading in the installation manual for this.
Yeah.
So that would be, I don't know if that would pass inspection or not, but.
Oh, it would. I've seen a lot of them pass like this.
Yeah.
But you're right, it takes off
Like
the
low
stress.
stress from there.
Exactly. And that would probably be an easy thing
To do, just disconnect them and put in the.
But these are nice, because you can turn off just the one item.
Yeah, and like, it was interesting, like reading about these things, but each one goes to like, this would directly go to the sink or whatever. And then people were saying like, oh, well, if you need hot water to your shower, it'll take like 10 seconds for it to reach there. And then if you go turn on your sink, well, you're going to have to wait the same 10 seconds again. And I'm thinking, well, why don't you just run one of them up to the bathroom and split them from...
You can. I'm redoing a duplex right now. And although I don't have the mana block system, I went with this material for the piping. Now, I'm not 100% old school, I guess. I'm not 100% sold on this yet. I'm familiar with copper, and all my houses have copper, and I feel good about it, even though they say they can spring leaks down the road. I've never had that happen in any house I ever had.
And I don't think it's that big of a deal to repair a leak.
No, my gosh, now with the shark bites, they're simple. I can do it myself with no problem. I mean, I'm good at the soldering, but now with the new shark bites, my gosh, you cut it, you're done. So I installed it just to see, but I figure if they're all over the place and new construction everywhere, it's got to be good. I just don't know the life of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I forget the pros and cons. I think one is that like in winter, these don't really, there's no concern with freezing or anything like that.
I've heard that.
But I don't remember, like it was a couple weeks ago where I looked up everything like this, but.
Well, if the house got cold down here to the point of freezing, I think this is where you're going to have your problem. You know, because if it freezes, any amount of expansion is going to knock stuff out. This, I wouldn't be worried about. The pipe itself, because it probably wouldn't be damaged.
Oh yeah, plus they're like, well, the ones actually in the house would be heated anyway. So.
I'm thinking though, if the power went out for an extended period of time and it actually got cold, but you're in underground, so the ground has an ambient temperature of whatever, 60, 55 maybe. So I don't think it would ever get to the point of being super cold down here.
Yeah, that's true. The ground would be warmer because that's how like the geothermal heat pumps work, right? Is that the ground is warmer.
So in my opinion, I'm not 100% sold on these yet, but I see enough of it and I've never heard of any problems.
Yeah, when I was first looking at the picture, I'm thinking like, is this Ethernet? Like, is it wired for network or whatever? So I had to take that picture and do a Google reverse image search to find out what it
Oh,
was.
neat.
And
I
then,
never thought of that.
yeah, and then it brought up pictures of the system and everything. So I
Okay.
figured that out.
That's your vacuum, central vac system.
My Roomba's gonna be mad at it. Gonna be competing for my attention.
I always laugh thinking, what would happen if you had a dog and the dog had diarrhea? And your Roomba would go throughout the house.
I don't even have mine set on a timer, so it's fine with that. I just turn mine on once a week.
Uh-huh.
This house was built in 2008, right? I think so.
2005.
2005. Very nice. I think it's just a bit out of my budget. Oh, do you know what that's probably a doorbell, right?
That's the doorbell. Mm-hmm.
It's like my first time stepping on carpet in like years
Really?
without shoes on. My apartment's hardwood floors, so I'm like enjoying my feet on the carpet. Do you know how the sink works?
What do you mean?
Like, what does this thing do?
Oh, that I don't know.
It's like one big cup of water, or you can have 8 little cups of water.
I'm thinking stream. Right. Yeah. Where's it done? Oh, it does come out.
Yeah, I tried pulling on it. I'm like, oh, I don't want to break it.
It's broken before for me.
I'm all set here.
Okay. Well, let's grab our shoes. We'll walk out front then, and then lock up.
Oh, it's that switch for
Did we
this
see
one.
this one though?
What?
Actually, you didn't.
Yeah, we walked through here.
Did we?
Yeah, just a little bit, but yeah.
I like this room.
Yeah, me too.
Now this would make a nice gym.
Yep, that's what I was thinking about too.
Sunshine and views of the outside.
Yeah, I don't even need like that big of a space. Like right now, I just have like a pull-up tower and like a weight bench, and I just have dumbbells that I use. Or make sure that all the lights are shut off before we leave.
Well, I'll walk through the house. If you want to walk around the front, that's fine.
Huh, look at this light switch. So half of it and then the other half.
Okay, they wired it separately. What it's meant to be, if you have a ceiling fan with a light switch, one will work just the fan, one will work the light switch.
Gotcha.
So you don't have to pull. That's the idea of that. There's an extra wire. Yeah. Why don't you grab them and walk through here or walk around that side? It's up to you.
Oh yeah, I'll walk through there.
Okay. Lock everything up. Got the fancy ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
Medallions around.
Is there just like a outlet in the house that you plug the vacuum stuff in?
Yeah, there should be about 3 or 4. Let's see here. Right there.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at.
And then when you open it,
Oh, it just automatically turns on.
I always joke with families with children, that would be a hamster delivery service. You'll end up downstairs in the basement.
See, I'm thinking like if I have a dog here and I'm brushing them, all the hair can go straight into there.
The other neat thing,
Cutting a kid's hair right next to it.
I don't think this house has it, but it's an easy add-on. No, I don't see it. There's a very narrow, 12 inches long by maybe 2 inches wide. You put it under the kick part, the toe kick of the cabinet, some location. So you can sweep up with a broom, open it with your foot, and it gets sucked down.
You know, at the other house, there's something like that, but I don't think that's what it's used for. It must be the heat or something.
Oh, could be heat too. Mm-hmm.
I was looking at that. That's why I was like listening intently. I guess, is there a garbage? Yeah, that would be a garbage disposal, right?
Yeah, it sure is. And again, a lot of people have them. I'm just a firm believer, if you have a septic system, don't use it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I probably would never even use one because I'm like, why can't I just put whatever I need in the garbage and throw it out, you know?
That's the way I look at it. And those septics can be extremely expensive if they go bad.
So just to close off this video, we're about 4.5 hours away from my house. I did put a, I don't know what's up with my GoPro, but I did put an offer in on the one house, the first one that we saw in the video. I put an offer in for $265,000. It's listed for $305,000. The realtor thinks like my offer isn't like a lowball offer, but it is on the low side. Looking at all the houses though in the area, 265 seems on the the higher side. Just in 2020, one sold for 225, and it needed some like wood repaired in the front of the garage or whatever. But and my house has a pool and the other one doesn't. But I think a pool probably only adds like $7,000 or something, especially a pool as old as the one that mine is. Mine's like, my pool has to be like 20 years old at least, around there. But yeah, the offer's in. Next is like March 3rd. The guy has until March 3rd to answer the offer, accept it, decline it, or counter offer, and all that stuff. So I'll let you guys know. Whatever this road is, 220 North entering Pennsylvania from Maryland, it's 6:43 p.m. This road's completely dead. This is like, I have my bright lights on, but it's like completely dead, completely dark, and I feel like I'm gonna be murdered out here. I want to start a spin-off of the Hard Rock Cafe, and they'll only serve hard liquor and hard condiments, like Mike's Hard Mayonnaise. Alright guys, so the end of this video, I did put a offer in on the first house, like I was saying, the one with the swimming pool in the backyard and everything. I put in the offer for $265. By the time I got home, the realtor had emailed me at 10:45 p.m. so like half an hour after I got home. I didn't see the email until the next morning, but he said like, someone else put an offer in on the house, and the guy responded to both offers saying that he wanted $291,000 is the least amount that he would take for the house. And so I saw that email at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I spent like an hour thinking. I'm like, oh man, I need a cigarette. I need to think about this. Like, how do I respond to this? How do I negotiate to this? The realtor was like, $291,000 is the least that he'll take for the house, but everything else in your offer is okay. Like, he's good with everything else in your offer. And I'm thinking like, how do I negotiate this? Like, is there any way I can get him to go down on the price? Or like, maybe if I like stress more that I'm paying cash, and maybe I can say like, oh, we can skip the inspection and and the pool inspection, everything, just do a warranty on the house. Because that's one of the things that the realtor was telling me about, is that you can have a seller pay for a warranty, like a 1-year warranty on the house. This way, in case anything goes wrong with like the furnace or whatever, you'll be covered for that year, and it's only like $660 per year for the warranty. So I was thinking about all these ways to negotiate for like an hour, and then it just dawned on me. I'm like, well, he said 291 is the lowest that he'll take. So there's really nowhere to negotiate there. Like 291 is the lowest that he'll take. Where do I go from here? There is no negotiating lower if that's the lowest that he'll take, and I don't want to pay that much. All the houses in the area. So this house with the swimming pool in the backyard, and I'm sorry we didn't get more footage of it. I must have shut off my GoPro or something in the middle of looking at that house. But that house is just outside of a homeowners organization, so it's a decent neighborhood. However, like someone, I think the realtor was saying, or I heard somewhere like, oh, houses in the homeowners organization are like more expensive. They go up in value because homeowner organizations increase the value of a house. And I'm thinking like, but this house is just outside of the homeowners organization, so that's not affecting the price. But even the houses inside of the homeowners organization, like they sold for like 225, 250, around there in the last couple years. There were 4 or 5 houses, maybe more, that sold for that price, 225, 250. There was one, a gigantic house with gigantic property that had like granite countertops, amazing tile flooring, like a really, really nice house that sold for 339. And the house that I'm buying is nowhere near that level of niceness. Yeah, it does have a swimming pool, but a swimming pool doesn't add 30, 40 grand onto the price of a house. A swimming pool only costs 30 or 40 grand to begin with. And a swimming pool that old, that swimming pool's 12 to 15 years old at least. That's a furthest, like that's the furthest back pictures that I saw of the house was like 2008-ish. And there was a swimming pool there. So it's not like it's a new swimming pool, and a swimming pool being 30 grand to install. And there's depreciation value in the swimming pool and everything like that too. Another example that the realtor was saying to me was that there was one house around the block that sold for 225, because I brought that up as an example. Well, this house sold in 2020 last year for 225, and he's like, yeah, well, that house had to get all new woodworking on the outside of the garage done, and still, like, 225 to 291, what's that, at $70,000? It doesn't cost $70,000 to replace some woodworking outside of a garage because the woodwork was rotted or whatever. It doesn't increase a home's value or change the price of a home's value by $70,000. So I just think that that house was way overpriced at 291. And I don't know if it's overpriced because the guy was just got back together with his wife in November. He listed the house for sale, so a couple months ago. So I don't know if he's just holding on to the house because he's afraid, he's holding on to the house and putting a high price on it because he doesn't really want it to sell, because he's afraid that he's going to not get back together with his wife and need the house again. Or I saw that his wife is like an attorney or an assistant attorney or something like that. So he probably has a higher up job too. So maybe he doesn't need the money and is in no rush to sell the house as well. So that's why he's keeping the price high, to hopefully get people to pay the higher price for the house or whatever. But yeah, the end of the day is that the house, in my mind, the house isn't worth 291, not at all. And that would leave me like, I would want to like redo the grass outside of it and paint and do modifications and stuff with the house. So there's not really room in my budget for that. If I do pay 291 for the house, I'm like moving expenses and upgrades that I want to do. Yeah, I didn't end up with the house, and I'm not disappointed with it or whatever. So, all right, take care, guys. Thank you, and good night.